Hello, I hope everyone's doing well today. The title of my video today is Sweet Child of Mine. And no, it's not just a song from Guns N' Roses. Coming with you today to talk about personal injuries involving children. Sadly, that is something that many people have to deal with on a daily basis. And there are some differences and also some similarities in the claims for personal injuries between children and adults. Two major differences would be typically, unless the child is employed, if they're older, 16 or older, there will not be a claim for lost wages. And then also, if their child is not working, there will be no claim for loss of support. And another major difference in the claim for personal injury damages to a child as opposed to an adult is that the parent is actually responsible for the medical expenses. So that claim actually belongs to the parent. And where that becomes a point of concern is that the statute of limitations for the medical expenses on the parent's behalf actually runs from 2 years from the date of the injury in Texas. You'll want to check with your attorney in any other state. But for the damages for the child, which is basically everything other than the medical expenses, the statute of limitations is 2 years after the 18th birthday of the injured child. Again, that's in Texas, so any other state you would want to check with an attorney on that to confirm that. So the other major difference in a child's injury claim as opposed to an adult's injury claim is what's called a friendly suit and a minor prove-up hearing. And this is where you take the facts of your case in front of a judge. There will be an attorney for the insurance company if insurance is involved. The court will also appoint what's called an attorney ad litem or a guardian ad litem, and they are there to make sure that the best interest of the child is being represented. And if the parent has hired an attorney, they would also be at the hearing. A next friend, which is typically the parent, would go before the judge and testify as to what happened to the injured child, their injuries, their pain and suffering, how they're doing now, any future treatment if that might be necessary. And then the settlement would be presented to the judge, and ideally that would be approved. Also, depending on the choice of the insurance company, if you've gone through the minor prove-up process, the funds that would be allocated for the minor or left over for the minor are either deposited into the registry of the court and held there to gain interest until the minor turns 18, or depending on the amount of the funds, it could be invested into an annuity, also not paid out to the child until 18 years old or later. Next, I want to talk about some typical dangerous items that can injure children, specifically guns, ATVs, power tools, and bicycles. And also you'll want to stay tuned for my guest actors. And the clips that will follow in no way mean to add humor to injuries to children, but my guest actors were so excited to help me out that I just thought I would let you guys enjoy some of these portrayals. It is estimated that nearly 1,300 children die every year due to gunshots, and the majority of these could be avoided if there were proper storage of the guns and also proper guidance to the children to understand how dangerous a gun could be and that they shouldn't touch them. Guns shouldn't be loaded if children are going to have any kind of access to them, or they should be locked away in gun cabinets to avoid these kind of injuries. If a child is injured due to a gunshot, a question for the court would be, was the child poorly supervised, or was the gun not locked away? These are all questions that could lead to liability on the part of the parent or the adult that was in charge of the child and the gun. In 2016, there were 591 reported ATV fatalities, and 65% of these were children 16 years or younger. Again, The majority of these could have been avoided had the children been properly supervised, had there been proper training on how to drive an ATV safely, and also had the appropriate gear been worn to protect these children, specifically helmets. Again, most of those fatalities would have been avoided. Same with the gun as far as supervision of the child. That is a question for responsibility or liability of the parent or whoever was responsible for the child and the ATV at the time of the injury. The Consumer Product Safety Commission estimates over 400,000 emergency room visits per year for injuries due to power tools, and a percentage of that 400,000 were injuries to children. And again, I know I sound like a broken record, but had the child been properly supervised and the tools properly stored, most of the injuries to the children would not have occurred. So when it comes to determining who's responsible for the injuries to that child, especially if it was by another child, you need to look at the parent or adult responsible for supervising the child and also for storage and maintenance of those power tools. In 2018, 3% of motor vehicle child deaths were involving bicycles. And again, had these children been wearing proper gear, specifically helmets, which are actually required by law in most states, these deaths would have been prevented. Also, appropriate supervision by the parent is a key element in determining who was at fault if a child is injured while on a bicycle. So, those are some examples of dangerous tools that can injure children and things that we can do to keep them safe, mainly proper training, proper storage, and proper supervision. Let's keep those sweet babies safe and be safe ourselves. Thank you. Bye-bye.